fastest teams to practice today. Kyle
Casey Kane, we congratulate him, his third career pole.
It's all three Hendrick Motorsports in the front.
There's a few movers and shakers out there.
Carl Edwards free falling for a couple
to victory lane is Joey Logano.
Get the inside line on who's fast and who's last before setting your NASCAR fantasy race team lineup this weekend. This is the Inside Line on MRN.com, presented by Hercules Tires. Now, here are your fantasy experts, Robbie Mays and Tyler Burnett.
Carl Edwards makes it 2 in a row in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Toyota makes it 4 in a row in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. We welcome you to the Talladega version of the Inside Line. This man right here is Robbie Mays, and I am Tyler Burnett. We have a jam-packed show, so let's jump right into it. Your thought on Richmond last week,
I
Robbie?
finished 44th.
Well, who cares?
I do.
Seriously, that's the first thing you're going to drop as soon as you get a talk?
Well, if you finish 44th, you would do the same thing.
No, because I've done it all year.
After 8 races of bad finishes, I finally...
Yeah, bad is an understatement.
I finally get a good finish last week. I'd like to thank all the boys back at the shop. I'd like to thank all my sponsors, everybody that helped put this effort together. So, anyway.
You done?
I'm done. Right.
Carl Edwards now has 6 straight top 10s, and only 1 race has he finished out of the top 10, and he finished 18th this season. That is an unbelievable start to the year for the 19 team.
For a guy who last season won 2 races on fuel mileage and tire strategy last year. And this year, he comes out of the box, and he's the best thing that Joe Gibbs has got going on right now. I mean, obviously, Kyle Busch won 2 races before that. And Joe Gibbs on the season has won, 5 races, with Denny winning the Daytona 500. And Matt Kenseth last week finally had a good, strong finish. We talked about it on the show that it was coming. It was just a matter of time, and he finally got that good finish last week.
I think Kenseth's going to be good this week. That's a little bit of a teaser for later on the program today. We are joined by Mike Forde, Senior Manager of Content Communications for NASCAR IMC. He's also an expert on loop data, so our hope is he can help you score some much-needed points this weekend in Talladega. I know I need the points. Plus our teams and our winners. But first, my mom has always been an expert on everything: cooking, relationship advice, fixing my cuts and bruises when I was younger. The only thing I can't go to her with advice on is what to get her for Mother's Day. But not to worry, you and I will look like an expert on Mother's Day when you use proflowers.com. Get Mom 100 blooms with a free glass vase for $19.99 plus shipping and handling. Or make her day extra special, upgrade to a premium vase, and add gourmet chocolates for just $9.99. Go to proflowers.com and use the code MRN. When you go to the proflowers.com, click the blue microphone in the top right corner and type in MRN. Remember, Mother's Day is next week, and the offer expires Friday at midnight. That's proflowers.com. Our fantasy team's next on the Inside Line.
The Inside Line will return in just a moment.
O'Reilly. If it's hard to stop or you hear squealing and grinding noises during braking, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. You'll find the brake parts you need from trusted brands like Brake Best Select, and Wagner Thermoquiet at everyday low prices. Play it safe with brake parts from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Don't miss the first ever Country 500, the Great American Music Fest at Daytona International Speedway, Memorial Day weekend. Join Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean, Kid Rock, Lady Antebellum, Florida Georgia Line, Willie Nelson, and many more for 3 awesome days and nights of music, camping, and more on the infield of the World Center of Racing. Visit country500.com for more information.
Now it's back to Robbie Mays and Tyler Burnett on the Inside Line.
We finally surpassed 1,000 people in our fantasy league on NASCAR.com, which is not good for Robbie because when he gets beat, then 900 people beat him.
I beat 900 and something last week. I don't know how to do math.
Thanks to everyone who's joined the league so far. Be sure to tell your friends to join the league because it's going to be fun this week. I mean, Talladega is a crapshoot. There's no other way to put it. Is that right?
It really is. I mean, it's almost like you could draw numbers out of a hat.
Let's do it.
Oh, wait. We have a hat with numbers in it.
41 picks in this hat right now. So we're going to pick 5 and then a winner. So Robbie picked the first one. We have 41 in here, and we'll see if this team beats us, which I'm guessing it's probably going to beat us.
All right, my first number is 34.
Mine's 98. That's Cole Witt.
That's
so
Chris
Buescher, Cole Witt.
Okay.
All right, who else we got here?
Let's see. Let's dig through the hat.
Next
number is Denny Hamlin, number 11.
All right, and then we got the 5 of Casey Kane. One more, and then I'll pick the winner.
You always get to pick the winner. 21, Ryan Blaney. That's a good choice. I might steal that pick.
That's decent.
Yeah.
And then our winner is going to be Michael McDowell.
All right.
Michael McDowell. Okay, so Chris Buescher, Cole Witt, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Casey Kane, and Michael McDowell is our hat pick team. And now for our real teams, Robbie, because you beat me last week and you've already thrown that out there, you can pick your first pick.
I finished 44th last week.
Wow.
Kevin Harvick is on my list this week. He's won here before in 2010. His average 10-race average finish is a 16.4. That's 8th highest. 10 race averages, overall race averages at Talladega are going to be low because you have the ability to run up front. You also have the ability to crash. So if you've been caught up in the big one more than once, your average finish is probably low. By the way, the best 10-race average finish at Talladega is 10.4. That's held by Clint Boyer. So if you go down the list at MRN.com on the race center of all the 10-race averages for all of the tracks, Talladega, Daytona, probably going to be lower than most.
The guy that's on your team next, he's my number 1 seed this week. That's Dale Earnhardt Jr., the best plate racer in the garage right now. Best team when it comes to restrictor plate tracks in the garage. He was unbelievable last year. He won this race. He then finished second. And I meant to put this, I put this in my notes. The overtime rule came out because of this race in the fall, Talladega.
Yes.
Because Joey Logano, Dale Earnhardt Jr., the restart, it was flubbed, whatever you want to get into the details about that. But we have the overtime rule because of that. Junior might have won that race if we had an overtime rule.
Yeah, I do because we had the wave off of the first restart, and then we had the second restart, and everybody crashed before they got back to the start-finish line. So yeah, we would have had an opportunity to see that in place. I like Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's back in the car that he won this race with last year. He also won the summer race at Daytona last year. Amelia is the name of the car. He ran it in this year's Daytona 500. He crashed that car. Well, Hendrick Motorsports is like, this is a good car.
Well, Amelia
so I'm going to put it
Earhart-
back together.
Amelia Earhart crashed 5 times.
Well,
So-
yeah. She was
And
also
it's named after her, right?
She also disappeared on the same day that Richard Petty was born.
So Junior Harvick is on your team. My second pick on my team is Joey Logano, who finished, well, he won that race that Junior finished second in the fall. He won 2 plate races last year. Sorry, I messed it up. Daytona 500 and also Talladega in the fall. Joey Logano is turning in to be one of the best plate racers in the garage, so he's on my team this week. Robbie, your third pick on your fantasy team?
I'm going back to the guy who won the pole for this year's Daytona 500. I'm going with Chase Elliott. I was nervous to take him for the Daytona 500 because it was his first race full-time in the Sprint Cup Series. A lot of pressure on that young man. He won the pole. He led early, but then he crashed and finished 37th. I'm not so nervous now because his season is remarkable. If you look at his finishes this year, it's been good. 5 top 10s in 9 starts so far this season. And Talladega is a racetrack that's known for drivers getting their first career wins. 10 drivers in the history of this place have won their first career races in the Sprint Cup Series. 6 of those guys, that was their only career win. But Talladega is definitely a place where you can go and you can pick up your first career win easily.
Yeah, I'm not nervous to start him anywhere coming to any of the tracks we've been to this year. And his dad was pretty okay at Talladega.
Pretty okay.
I'm just messing.
Pretty okay.
Bill was very good.
He won at Talladega 2 laps down.
I know.
Without the aid of a caution, he came back and won that race.
That was sarcasm.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty okay. No, he was very good at
I didn't see
Talladega.
the sarcasm flying.
Martin Truex Jr. is on my team as well, the 78 team. And this is one of the picks that I most like on my fantasy team this week, and I'm surprised you don't have. Martin Truex Jr., he has a 13.5 average finish over the last 10 races at Talladega. He is third best among active drivers, but he has 2 straight top 10s at Talladega, and also last year he finished in the top 10 at both restrictor plate tracks 3 out of the 4 races. That is hard to do with how much can happen at a racetrack. So I have Martin Truex Jr. I also have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's second best in average finish over the last 10 races at Talladega with a 12.2 average finish. He was 9th in the fall. And then, like our hat picks, I have Cole Witt in the number 98. Hopefully he makes the race. Again, the guys who have to qualify: Cole Witt, Josh Wise, David Gilliland, who's in the 35, would be a great pick this week. And also Michael Waltrip, who, in my opinion, costs too much this week with $55.
I think so, too.
Not $55. He's in the 55 car. He costs like $15-something.
Yeah, $15. That's too much for my blood. I'm going to round out my team with Ryan Blaney, $16.75. Blaney has experience at Talladega in the Cup car. He finished 4th in this race last year, lost an engine last fall, and finished 43rd. I'm going to round out my team with a guy who went to victory lane here in the spring of 2013. That's David Reagan. 18 starts at Talladega, 7 top 10 finishes, 11 combined top 10s on the 2 plate tracks in the Sprint Cup Series. He only has 36 top 10s in his career. So, yeah, the plate tracks are good for David Reagan.
Let me say this before we go to break. Our hat team isn't too bad. I mean,
it's really not.
Michael McDowell probably won't win in the race.
Yeah.
But if you plug these 4 in on your fantasy team, Chris Buescher, Cole Witt, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Casey Kane, that is a strong top 3.
That's really strong.
Don't you think?
I'm really impressed that we were able to do that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, folks, real quick before we head to break, we want to ask for your help and in exchange give you a chance to win your own Google Chromecast. In an effort to give you the kind of web programming you want, we're asking if you'll take a quick online survey at www.mylistenerstudy.com. Survey is completely anonymous and will help us give you more of what you like here on MRN.com. And don't forget to enter for the Google Chromecast. Again, that's mylistenerstudy.com. We'd really appreciate your feedback. And good luck. Let's take a break. When we come back, Mike Forde will join us here on the Inside Line.
Got a question or opinion about your fantasy lineup? Give us a call at 8444-ASK-MRN, and it may get used on next week's show. The Inside Line will return in a moment.
O'Reilly. Restore lost fuel economy and eliminate rough idle with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, buy 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner and get 1 free. Clean clogged injectors and increase fuel efficiency with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner. Buy 2, get 1 free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ready to take the training wheels off your race scanner? Go to fanvision.com and upgrade your experience with FanVision. Not only will you be able to hear the race,
Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets a good run, drafting help from Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. Jr. again pulls up alongside for the race lead.
you'll see every moment through live video, instant replays, live stats, and more.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, driver of the #1 McDonald Chevrolet, and I never go to the track without my FanVision. So go to fanvision.com to rent or buy yours today.
NASCAR races are all about world-class, high-performance vehicles, and that's not just limited to the race cars. Freightliner Cascadia haulers transport the race cars and equipment from track to track 38 weekends of the year, keeping your favorite drivers in the race season after season. And from the engine to the seats to the dash, Freightliner specifically engineers its vehicles to give truck drivers a reliable, comfortable ride. Learn more about Freightliner truck models at FreightlinerTrucks.com.
Welcome back to the Inside Line. Here are your hosts, Robbie Mays and Tyler Burnett.
I will just say this. We picked our hat picks. I will be very upset if that team beats me. But there's a high probability that it might.
It's a really strong team. Denny Hamlin, he only won the Daytona 500 this year. Casey Kane, he only drives for Hendrick Motorsports. And Ryan Blaney is one of the guys that's going to get a win here before too long.
Well, he finished 5th at Talladega last year.
Yeah.
Blaney did.
Yeah. And Chris Buescher is that team has won here before. So
yeah. This is Robbie Mays. I'm Tyler Burnett. We're now going to be joined by the man known as Loop Dog, Mike Forde. He's the senior manager of communications at NASCAR's IMC department. Mike, how are you?
I am doing very well, guys. I don't want to, break any news here or tell people how the sausage is made, but I was eavesdropping on your conversation during the break, And I thought it was a hilarious thing you just said, and actually a kind of a good tip. You were talking about how you have a team that you never use, but use as a test kitchen, so to speak, for your fantasy team, so you don't blow out guys that you gotten a good value earlier in the year, and you just kind of throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks. I think that's a really good, funny idea, and B, I've done the same thing myself. I think it's really handy. So kudos to you, whoever was saying that.
we love having you on. First off, how do we go about picking a NASCAR.com fantasy team at Talladega? I mean, we were just talking about how we just drew from a hat right here, on TV, and I think that team might do better than the team I've picked. How do you go about it?
Yeah, it's well, how I go about it is first of all, fantasy sports in general is supposed to be fun, right? And so I kind of try to have a little bit more fun this week, and pick guys that I don't usually pick. I notice no matter what sport it is, but especially NASCAR, I enjoy the race so much more when I have a fantasy guy that's doing well, that's running up front, or that has a chance, and so I don't want to keep rooting for the same guys. So this is kind of a personal thing. So I'll throw in a number of drivers that I don't usually typically start. But just sort of get a little bit fresh faces in there. But I also, there's a way to pick your a team that is based in metrics and analytics, I guess you can say. And like I usually typically start a Jamie McMurray type. Obviously David Reagan is up there as a guy who is going to be super cheap and is going to do pretty well for you. I think there are guys out there that are especially good at restricted plate racing and will serve you well if you start them on your team.
Mike, we hear people say if you're good at one plate track, you're good at both plate tracks. Is that the case if someone was up front for Daytona? Do you necessarily want to pick them for Talladega, or the track's too different to say that this guy's good at both restrictor plate tracks?
Yeah, this is one of those places, while they are very different, I do find that the stats are pretty much very, very similar in both Daytona and Talladega. You look at, just all you got to do is look at the top of the charts. At Talladega, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the number one guy, and at Daytona he's in the top 5 if he isn't the number one guy. I think actually Kyle Busch is top of the charts at Daytona. Kyle Busch isn't super high, and I'm by top of the charts. I'm talking about drive rating. That is my go-to stat for everything fantasy, and I know you guys do a great job on MRN.com presenting the loop data. I would strongly urge all the players to look at the loop data. I think that is the key to putting a pretty smart team together. It's not just average finish. You need to look at that driver rating. And driver rating and average running position, that really gives you a good idea, especially at Talladega, where you can be running up front for much of the race and then get wrecked. And the average finish is really nonsense when you're trying to pick a fantasy team. So, but long story short, you got the top 5 in driver rating is, Dale Jr., Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch, and Brad Keselowski. Those are the guys you'll also see at the top of Daytona.
So you had said Jamie McMurray and David Reagan were guys you look at on your NASCAR.com league this week. Throw out who you're going to start, your top 5.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with Jamie McMurray and David Reagan, certainly. Those are going to be 1, 2. And then I'm going to look at Brad Keselowski. Brad is one. He's one of those guys that he's certainly better at Talladega than he is at Daytona. To answer that, go back to that previous question. So I love Brad. I'm going to go with Dale Jr. I think you just have to go there. He's just so much better than everyone else at Talladega. And then I'm probably going to give a look to say Ryan Blaney. I might try to squeeze him in if I can afford it. It's sort of like as you guys know with the NASCAR.com Fantasy Live, it kind of depends on the prices jumping up and down, and if you have a guy already in your lineup from say 3 races ago, that price difference may be way different. I think Kurt Busch is going to be a strong pick this weekend. So if I can front load my lineup with Dale Jr., Kurt Busch, and Brad, and then somehow squeeze in a David Reagan and Jamie McMurray, I think that's going to be too expensive. But probably could try to be a little bit creative there because I just love Dale Jr., Keselowski, and Kurt Busch.
Mike, we had Michael Waltrip on one of our shows here on MRN.com earlier this week. A one-off guy, doesn't run many races anymore, a proven winner on the restrictor plate tracks. All 4 of his wins have come on restrictor plate tracks. Would you consider starting Michael Waltrip this weekend?
I would consider starting, honestly, anybody, but I would consider it. I wouldn't do it.
Have you looked at his price?
Waltrip's great. Like you said, he's great at restricted plate tracks. Obviously, he has the 2 Daytona 500 wins, and has does have a win at Talladega way back in 2003. But he's started this race. He started at Talladega. He's run every single Talladega race since 2007 was the last time he missed a Talladega race, and the results haven't been that great. I mean, last October he finished 13th, which if you're starting Michael Waltrip and he finishes 13th at that price point, it's fantastic. But prior to that, he has finishes of 36th, 25th, 32nd, 25th again. So more often than not, he's finishing outside the top 25, and you can. I think there's just better value out there with I think he's probably gonna be around $10. You probably can get almost like a Casey Mears at that price, and I think he'll do a lot better for you.
I don't know if you've looked already. It's not $10. For some reason, he's hovering in the $15 range.
Oh
this
gosh,
week.
Then definitely
Isn't
not.
that? Yeah. I mean, you can't put that on your team because Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to be way better than him this week, and he costs $2 less.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I'm on the site right now and looking at that. That's nuts. I mean, if you're looking at $15, the guy right below him, I mean, shoot, Brian Scott is $12.75.
Yeah,
I like him a little bit better.
All right. Before we let you go, Mike, your winner this week, who do you got?
I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski. I just think he's got this place figured out, and he knows how to do the draft on that last lap. I like Brad a lot whenever I go to Talladega.
Brad Keselowski. What do you think of Chase Elliott's chances this week?
I like him a little bit. I'm not. I don't think he's going to win. I think I could see a top 10 out of him, though. I like a lot of guys a lot more.
Yeah. Chase has done all right this year, though.
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable what he's done. I mean, we were running the stats, through 8 races. This was going into last week. He had the most top 5s. He had 5 top 10s, the most of a rookie since Jimmy Johnson in 2002.
Wow.
So,
I can't believe we didn't see that.
The last time a rookie had 5 top 10s for the first 8 races with Jimmy.
And this was about the time.
That's saying a little bit, I think.
Yeah, this was about the time in Jimmy Johnson's rookie career or rookie season that he won a race too. So the first week of May.
Do you think he wins a race this year?
I do. Yes.
You do?
I do. I think of the guys, that it's a popular question this year. Which driver will get his first win? Between Chase and Ryan Blaney and Austin Dillon and Kyle Larson, I do think Chase Elliott's the answer to that question. Just the way he's run, it's never fluky. This is one of those races where yes, you could get a fluke win. We've seen it before with David Reagan and Brad Keselowski when he was with Phoenix Racing, but I don't think he's going to fluke into it. Chase, when Chase wins, he's going to be running. His average running position is going to be in the top 6, I bet.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I don't think Blaney's too far behind either, which is a big surprise. Thanks, Mike, for coming on the show. Good luck with your fantasy team this week. I like the Brad Keselowski picks, so good luck, man.
Thanks, guys. Good luck to you. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Mike Forde, everyone, joining us. We love when he's coming on because he likes to talk loop data, and, of course, that's his number one stat. So
and when he has a driver that I pick on my team, I feel smarter.
He had the 88.
I know.
We both have the 88. Everyone's going to have the 88.
88's a great pick.
That was Mike Forde. He is Senior Manager of Communications at NASCAR IMC. He does a great job. After the break, we're going to come back. We're going to give our winners next here on the Inside Line.
Tyler and Robbie will be right back to talk more fantasy racing here on the Inside Line.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Race on over to mrn.creekstonefarms.com now through June 8th and enter our Sizzlin' Steak Sweepstakes, where you can win a gift certificate good for $500 in Creekstone Farms premium Black Angus beef and all-natural Duroc pork. No purchase necessary, open to legal residents of the 50 United States and District of Columbia who are 21 or older at time of entry. If you want America's best Black Angus beef ribeyes, fillets, all-natural pork tenderloins, baby back ribs, and more, you've got the green light. Go to mrn.creekstonefarms.com and enter today.
Ever wish your kid came with an instruction manual? I'm behavioral therapist James Lehman, and I'll show you how to change your child's behavior now with the Total Transformation, the program that helps stop defiance, backtalking, lying, acting out in school, even problems with ADD and ADHD. There's no screaming, no fighting, no frustration. Your child will listen to you again. I guarantee it.
Change your child's behavior now with the Total Transformation. Call now. 1-800-406-2945. 1-800-406-2945.
Let's talk more fantasy racing on The Inside Line. Here's Robbie and Tyler.
Good show this week. Thanks for Mike Forde coming on. Robbie Mays, thanks for putting up the graphics all over the place. So you do a good job with those.
It's what I do.
I give you a lot of crap, but you're a pretty good graphic guy.
Thank you.
If you want to call him.
I appreciate that.
Who's your winner this week?
Do I really need to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, fine. My winner this week is driver 88.
Wow.
I know that's shocking to everybody. But I really like what he does at Talladega. If you look at his numbers, he leads all active drivers at Talladega. Dale Earnhardt Jr., by the way. He leads all active drivers at Talladega in wins, in top 5 finishes. He's tied for the most top 10s with Michael Waltrip. He leads in the most laps led, and he has the highest driver rating. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the man at Talladega Superspeedway.
I'm going to stay on the Toyota train and say they win 5 in a row this week at Talladega, and you might be thinking it's Carl Edwards. No, it's not. It's Matt Kenseth. Breaks through this week at Talladega. He won in 2012 in the fall. He also finished second in 2014 in the fall. Matt Kenseth is one of those guys who hangs around at the front and is always there towards the end of the race. I think he or either Martin Truex Jr. are going to win this week, but I think it's going to be Matt Kenseth.
Well, if you look at the last plate race we were on, Denny Hamlin won the race. That car is in the museum. Martin Truex Jr. finished second. Matt Kenseth was leading the race until he slipped on a banana peel in turn 4 and finished outside of the top 10. But he's always a good option here. Really, anybody can win this race. I would not be surprised if we saw a first-time winner this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Or somebody who hasn't won in a very long time.
Practice is coming up in 2 hours here on MRN.com at 2:30. Also at 4:30 is practice as well. Also, you can watch qualifying, listen to qualifying tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time on MRN.com with the Talladega 300, the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at 2:30 on Saturday, and then, of course, the Geico 500 Sunday at noon Eastern Time. For our producer, Daryl Smith, Robbie Mays throwing up the graphics this week, Mike Forde joining the show. We thank you for everyone joining us. Hopefully this hat does not beat me. I will be so mad at that.
It's going to.
We'll talk to you next week here on The Inside Line.
You've been listening to The Inside Line, presented by Hercules Tires. Stream us every Friday on MotorRacingNetwork.com or on the MRN app. The Inside Line is also available on demand at the MRN.com Media Center, or download it through iTunes or Stitcher. The Inside Line is a production of the Motor Racing Network.